So whenever Hellblade comes up in conversation, I found that there typically are two camps of opinion that you can find yourself in. Camp A says that this is high art, uh, a master class in tackling the topics of trauma and mental illness. Camp B just looks at it as a very basic, repetitive nothing burger of a game. And to a certain extent, I have to um, agree with some of those more harsher critiques. Because I think if you are looking at it from a gamer's perspective, right, you're analyzing all of the things that make it a game, make it what it is, you are going to find that it's lacking. Yes, it is basic. Yes, it is repetitive. Maybe it's even a little bit boring. I don't know. Fill in your own blanks here. But I have to agree that looking at it purely as a game, it is a tough thing to argue against. For me personally, though, I find that I'm able to lean a little bit more toward the other way with it because I feel like all of those elements that people were complaining about come together to serve the larger purpose of the game, which is to trap the player in a very relentless psychological experience. I mean, straight from the beginning, from the moment we are introduced to our main character, Senua, we're also introduced to the voices, right? We get just a taste of what her existence is like with the multitude of different topics of conversations happening at different volume levels in all different directions. Then there's the um, primary puzzle element to the game, which is Senua seeking out symbols within her environment. Or to put it more eloquently, I guess we could say that it's Senua peering through a layer of reality that we, the rest of us, obviously don't see. The combat encounters center around her fighting off apparitions of the Northmen, which are a significant source of trauma and fear for her. I mean, even the the adventure, the journey itself of her going to hell with the intention of rescuing the soul of her lost lover, as grand and epic and real as that is made to feel, the reality is it's only taking place inside her head. It's really just a huge metaphor for her coming to terms with that grief and challenging the perception of her that not only the world has, but that she has of her situation with her mental illness and kind of everything that she's been through. And I think once you're able to look at it from that context, it does in a sense change things for the better. Now, what I will say that I didn't like is how Senua is presented to us in this game. Um, there is, amongst all the voices, a more prominent one that sort of acts as a narrator, I suppose, through the entire thing. And she speaks in such a way that it made me feel as though I was watching a documentary, or more so kind of observing Senua from a distance rather than being right up over her shoulder and kind of experiencing things with her. And the problem that I have with that is that I was just feeling so detached from her. I was um, having trouble empathizing with her as a character, what she was thinking, what she was feeling, what she was just kind of going through. I found myself not really caring, because when you're kind of pulled back like that with that narrative style, it's not really letting the character or the person be the star of their own story. You're kind of just being told things, uh, you know, in in a different person, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And I just had such difficulty in buying into Senua as a character, and I felt like she was so stripped down that by the time that she actually got to be up front and center, it was just primarily through very brief um, cutscenes of her conversating with hallucinations, or she was writhing around and screaming in pain. And beyond that, there just wasn't a whole lot to her, unfortunately. Um, I don't know. All in all, I think if I was going to rate this one, I would put it somewhere between a 5 and a 6. It's an above average game for me, that I'm able to have a lot of appreciation, admiration, and respect for, but I'm just not altogether crazy in love with it, if that makes sense. But that's going to do it for this review, guys. And until next time, as always, take care of yourselves, and we will see you in the review for the sequel.